Hey, Vinyl Community, it's David Michael. It's Monday afternoonish. Just waking up from a long night of work after the Calgary Record Fair, which I'll get to in a second. This was originally going to be a much longer video. I assume it was going to be longer because I've had a lot of arrivals in the mail on thrift store finds. But to kind of save everyone a really long 25-minute video, which I hope this isn't, I'm going to break it up into two. So it'll be I'm going to break this up into these are my finds from the Calgary Record Fair yesterday, and I'm going to film part two later this week with all my thrift store finds and new arrivals. There you go. A couple things really quickly. I kind of feel bad that there's been a lot of comments on my videos, and I haven't had time to respond to you all. Sometimes I get the comments, I got the email notification, and I'm at work. I see the notification, I don't have time to respond. So if your comment was response worthy or you're asking a question and I haven't gotten back to you, I'm not being a dick. Time is not on my side right now. I'm leaving for Europe in a couple weeks, about 10 days actually. Work is crazy, and just life in general. And I've had back-to-back record fairs, so life has been busy. So if I've not commented back to you, I apologize. I'll try to get to all of them. So I just don't think I'm being an asshole about it. So anyways, having said that, cheers everyone. So yesterday was the Calgary Record Fair, which I was a vendor at and obviously a buyer because we're all sick in the head. That was the consensus with my long-term friends who are vinyl vendors. We're kind of sick. Anyways, last week was the Edmonton Record Fair, which as arduous. That was my 10th year doing that one, I believe, and it doesn't get any easier. But with doing the Calgary one, it's getting up at 5:36, loading my car up and taking the drive with my wife down to Calgary, and setting up, doing the whole day. And because of my job now, I come home from Calgary 8:39. I have to have a shower, get dressed, and go to work until 6 in the morning. So I had a 24-hour day yesterday once again, like last weekend. So to say I'm a bit tired, it'd be a little bit of an understatement. But I'm not complaining because I can always catch up on sleep. But some of these vinyl finds are sometimes once in a lifetime, so it's an illness. Anyways, I ran into Liam Dyer in Calgary. And it feels like I know him because I see him on YouTube all the time, and we kind of converse on Facebook and on YouTube. And I finally met him, and what a wonderful guy Liam is. And he got some amazing scores, as well as some other people you might recognize from the vinyl community, Dodson Loops and Vinyl, James Val. Here I am, I'm having to sell things at my table, and my wife is helping me sell, and so I have limited time to go out and shop, and they're scooping me on all these things. Anyways, if you haven't seen their videos, I won't give away what they got, but they got some amazing stuff, as did I. So I'm not complaining. Let's put it that way. But it was really nice to meet Liam. Liam bought some stuff off my table, and I appreciate it, Liam. It's all the money is going to my Europe trip, and you made my wife very happy, and she was very happy to meet you as well. So thank you, Liam Dyer, for stopping by and hanging out with me for the few minutes I had. So the Calgary Record Fair was, I'm going to say this for the first time ever, was way better than Edmonton. Edmonton, if you don't know, if you're not from my parts, Edmonton, Calgary has this bitter rivalry. I think it's sports related, I don't know. But, so whenever you kind of give Calgary props, you feel like a traitor, almost. But the Calgary Record Fair, they upgraded the hall to a bigger hall, the size of like a hockey rink, actually. And it was massive, and the finds were, I don't know why, it was like tenfold better than Edmonton. A lot of wow factor stuff that you would never be able to afford. But it was amazing finds. The prices in Calgary, though, are a lot higher than in my city, because people in my city are cheap bastards, like me. But having said that, it was a really good day all around. I couldn't believe the stuff I was finding. In Edmonton, you've got to pick up your socks here, because for the fall record fair, you've got to bring it, because Calgary just embarrassed us for the quality of finds anyways. I'm going to get right to this because it's already dragging on too long, and you saw shirts. I'm gonna get to this right now. There was a table of a guy who had new old stock from tour merchandise and band shirts from 80s and 90s. It was amazing. And he was selling everything at $5 a shirt, or was it 5 for 20? And these are all original unworn shirts. This is one of them. I got an original REM Monster tour shirt. I'm a big fan of the Monster album. I really like what Peter Buck did on that album with the delayed wah. Anyways, I love that album. A lot of people don't like it. I love that album. An original Monster tour shirt, $5. I got an original U2 Zooropa tour shirt. So I was quite happy with that. I have quite a few U2 shirts. This was for a friend of mine, Tom. I had to drop him a text. He's a huge Black Crowes fan. But they had an original Black Crowes Amorica long sleeve. There's the sleeve print. Amorica tour shirt. So, Tom, that's going to you if you see this video. I think you know that already. But that was a sweet find. And then the band that I have the most tour shirts for, Iron Maiden, I probably have about 70. But Depeche Mode's right up there. I found an original Songs of Faith and Devotion tour shirt, unworn. And I have one of these already, but it's been worn out since I bought it in like '89 when I saw them with Nitzareb in Calgary. Once again, Calgary. An original Violator shirt, unworn. It's got that stinky new shirt smell. But yeah, since me and my wife are leaving for Europe in 10 days to go see them 3 or 4 times in Europe, we'll be sporting those and we'll be the envy of no one. Anyways, though, that was from a table from a guy who had all this. He had hundreds of old dead stock T-shirts from the 80s and 90s. I could have went to town, but that's all I could reasonably get away with it without my wife, and for good reason. Okay, just gonna get right to the finds. I had this album, and I stupidly sold it at a record fair about 3 years ago when I was trying to fund another trip, and I've regretted it ever since, and I've been looking for this. A really awesome guy from the YouTube vinyl community, Dylan Harrison, had a copy, and he gave me a sweet deal on this one. Actually, we did a trade, actually, so I kind of got this in trade for a couple other albums. I got a copy of John Coltrane's Ascension. Now, this is on Impulse. Great album, great album. The side 2 is just, it's a trip. Anyways, this is a 1968 pressing. The first pressing of this album was released with a wrong take on it, so they had to scrub that one. They reissued it with the right take of one of the tracks on it, and that's called, I think, version 2 or edition 2. So there's original pressings and there's edition 2 with the proper take of one of the tracks. And in the Dead Groove, you can tell because it'll say edition 2. This is the second pressing of edition 2 from 1968 of John Coltrane's Ascension. And this might be my screen cap, so let's do this again. There you go. Automatic screen cap for y'all. Anyways, I'll try to keep my stories down to a minimum. But I got diarrhea of the mouth, so I'm sorry. Okay, so the table next to me was run by a guy I'm kind of friendly with, and he had his son with him. His son won a door prize, and his son was like, I don't know, 12. What the hell does he want this kind of stuff for? But he won a door prize. He got a T-shirt, which he wanted, and then he got this record, and he wanted to sell it to get money to buy a video game, or put towards like an Xbox card or something. So I said, I'll give you $10 for it. It looks interesting. I don't know anything about it. I kind of did a quick Google. It seems like it's a psych rock kind of thing. So I picked it up, and I haven't played it yet, but people are telling me good things about it. It's the Third Power, Believe. It's a reissue on Vanguard. Well, originally it was on Vanguard. I don't know who reissued it. It might have been, I don't know who reissued it. Doesn't really matter. But the Third Power, from what I understand, they're a Detroit band, kind of a fuzzed out psych rock band. That's the Cliff Notes version of what they are, from what I understand. But I offered him $10. It looked interesting enough, and he was happy. He can put it towards an Xbox card, and we were all happy. So the Third Power, Believe. I look forward to listening to this one. Anything fuzzed out psych rock, I'll take any day. I only bought this because it has the original tour hype sticker. It was in the shrink copy of Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms. It's in the shrink with the original Canadian hype sticker for the tour they had coming up. And the vinyl, like the album itself, it looks unplayed. It was opened, but whenever you see, and this was $3. This was a table kind of next to me where a guy was just blowing out boxes and boxes of dollar records and $3 records, and then he had some boxes of $10 records, which made no sense because the ones in the $3 boxes were insanely better than the ones in the $10 boxes. But there you go. Who am I to judge? Anyways, Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms in the shrink, absolutely mint condition inside. I think it was $3 with the original Canadian tour hype sticker. So I'm not going to pass that up. It's going to replace my copy that I have. This is, sorry, it's very dry in here. And I'm noticing, by the way, I did watch back one of my videos, and I never watch my videos. Since I moved into my new house, I smack my lips a lot when I'm doing these videos. It's really annoying. I'm thinking it's really dry in here, so I apologize if that's getting annoying to you. It's like watching a Lars Ulrich video, interview, and he's always smacking his lips. It's so fucking annoying. I apologize if that's annoying you or if you've noticed it. That drove me crazy watching back one of my videos, so I'll try to enunciate better and not smack my lips like an annoying little bastard. Okay, so I had my eye on this all day. Not that it's that incredible, but I love The Who. Who doesn't love The Who? If you don't love The Who, then I don't know. You shouldn't be listening to music. We all know this album. We see the CD in Walmart dump-ins all the time. Meaty, beaty, big and bouncy The Who. But if you notice something right off the bat, it's different than the version that we're used to in North America. The logo is different and the titling's different. What's different about this one, it's an original UK Track Records copy. And it's in absolute stunning condition. This was an old guy at the end of my row of tables who had tons and tons of Elvis stuff, and then he had just, I don't know, arbitrarily, he just had some UK stuff, and he had this, and at the end of the fair I went over, offered him $5 as he was packing up, and he took it. So $5 for a really, I hate to use the word mint, it's excellent condition copy of The Who's, if you don't know, this is kind of like a greatest hits released in 1970, I believe. So it's all that early nice 60s stuff and kind of late 60s stuff. So I thought that was a nice pickup, an original UK Track Records copy of this one. I've been really collecting Stevie Ray Vaughan lately. I'm a big fan of Stevie Ray Vaughan. In fact, I might have said in another video that I actually talked to Stevie Ray Vaughan on a call-in chat show called Rockline. I was the last caller he took, and then about a month later he died. And I was a little kid talking to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was a huge fan, and for a while there his vinyl was going for stupid prices, but now they've been reissued a few times. The prices on the originals are dropping a lot. This was next on my wanted list for Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I found it there at a table that had stuff for half price. Copy of Live Alive. I got that for $10. Like I said, he had it at 20. He was marking stuff down half price. This was on my wanted list anyways, of things to pick up if I saw for a good price, and I did. $10 for a copy of, there's some coverware. I don't give a shit. I don't play the cover. Live Alive. Any live album he does that has Voodoo Child on it, I am all in. He does the best version besides Hendrix, obviously. So there you go, an original pressing of that. So the only album I'm missing by Stevie Ray Vaughan of kind of studio albums while he was alive, or live albums, is I'm missing a copy of In Step and the Vaughan Brothers, but I think that might have been released after his death. I can't remember now. I'm tired. I just worked 24 hours. Come on. But I need a copy of In Step. VCLT. Trade. I'll find that eventually. Okay, this some kind of regular finds, and then I'm going to go to my super good stuff. Although that is pretty good so far, I thought. I got this. I have this album already. It's kind of a VG copy. I have a 1986 VG Plus copy. It's a reissue after this girl became famous. But this is a dead first edition, first pressing of Blue Angel. Now, who is Blue Angel? Well, I'll tell you, the 1986 reissue had, underneath here, it had featuring Cyndi Lauper. They reissued it after she became famous. This was her first band from 1980. And it is a fun and hell of a fun party, ska, like 80s album. But it's 1980, so it's not that new wavy sound. It's an amazing, awesome. If I have a party, I throw this album on. So Cyndi Lauper, pre-fame, and her first band called Blue Angel. First pressing. The other one I'll pass along. I was excited to find this for $5. And I really love that album. So, this came from, I'm not going to name drop too much because he's probably sick of me talking about him. Dodson Loops Vinyl. He had a table there. He had tons and tons of good stuff. But then he had a box of just kind of regular standard stuff. And I didn't have this on vinyl. And I needed this for when I DJ my 80s nights. Copy of Zig Zig Sputnik's second album, Dress for Excess. I usually play Hey Jane's, the third track, Hey Jane Mansfield Superstar, DJing. But I'm usually borrowing my DJ friend's copy. Now I have my own copy. Not the easiest album to find, but Dan had this for $5. So thank you, Dan, for that. Okay, so I only got a couple more left, and then we're going to end this. Once again, I had to double check with Dan. I'm very aware of this album. I know a lot of people look for this album. It's at least in my parts, it's kind of a coveted album to find. And it's got coverware, so the price was insanely good. I kind of bought it, took it over to Dan at Dodson Loops Vinyl. I hadn't heard the album in years. He said, go for it. Because I've had friends who paid $75 to $100 for this album. But it's a band called Troika. There's some coverware. It's an old radio station copy. You can kind of see the fainted call letters there. But what's cool about this, it's a promo copy. And it's a white label promo copy. The cover has some issues, which I'm going to work on. The vinyl is insanely nice. So Troika, I'll give you the kind of, once again, the Cliff Notes version of who Troika is. Troika, they were more or less mainly kind of based in Edmonton. I think they might have started in Montreal. It has people who are from Edmonton. They actually signed a record deal with Coalition Records. Coalition Records, you might know from, you'll see Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums on there. You'll see McDonald, Giles and McDonald. I have that album and I can't get the running order right. McDonald's and Giles, McDonald. You know what I'm talking about. It's early. I've been up 24 hours. Anyways, Coalition. So that was a subsidiary of Atlantic. And this band from Edmonton signed a North American deal with Coalition Atlantic Records. And what Troika is, it's, like I said, I have friends who would die to find this album. It's an insanely weird psychedelic album mixed with Ukrainian Russian music, which is their heritage. My city, Edmonton, insanely high population of Ukrainian people. People across Canada kind of know that about my city. So they kind of figured out, they were doing this kind of psych fuzzed out music, and they decided to kind of be different and infuse some of their Ukrainian heritage. I hadn't heard this since one of my old record stores I ran. I had an employee who had a kind of a bootleg of this. He brought it in, he would play it all the time. But I hadn't heard it in a few years. So like I said, I went over to Dan at Dodson Loops Vinyl. Dan, what do you think? He said, damn, I'd buy that right away. And I did. White label copy of Troika. Very excited to find that. I did spin this. The vinyl plays so nice. And Dan, you're right. It's such an amazing album. So that was an exciting find for $20. The only reason he had $20 was the cover issues. But like I always say, and I've said this video, I don't play the cover. I'll do some fixes on it. Get it looking nice. There you go. Last album I'm going to show you. I'm just passing 20 minutes. God damn, I talk a lot, don't I? Oh well. Anyways, this was once again from the aforementioned Dodson Loops Vinyl. He gave me a good deal on this one. And it could have made my video of my most wanted. My most wanted, I made that list and that's the ones I'm going after. But I could have made another 10 easily. I just don't think I'm ever going to find this album, so I wouldn't put it on a list of my most wanted because you just don't see this in my city. There, Dan has one on the wall, and he gave me a good deal. I've been on eBay looking for this, Discogs looking for this, looking for a good copy of this one, and I found it. Sir Lord Baltimore. Some of you might know this. I think Vinyl in the Van probably knows this. Dan obviously knows this one. But this is, from what I understand from what Dan told me, it's an original Mercury Records copy. And it's actually in really nice condition. I think Dan kind of undergrades this stuff. He said it had some issues. Oh, not issues. That's wrong. It might have had some pops and clicks to it. Actually, Dan, I cleaned it up nice in the spin clean. And any surface noise is kind of negligible to me. You might hear a little thing in between the grooves, but that's just nitpicking, and I don't have the hearing of a dog. So thank you for being honest about the condition, but really it's a lot better than what you said it was to me anyways. So thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the great deal. I really appreciate it. I couldn't believe I actually have this album. I've never actually seen this in my city in the wild, although it could be around. I just don't see it. Sir Lord Baltimore. If you don't know them, a lot of people compare them to, I think it's kind of like a slightly more tripped out Black Sabbath, possibly. That's probably a horrible description of them. But it's heavy, like I said, like kind of early Sabbath sounding, psych influence, but just an amazing album. And I found out about this album from another YouTube member, YouTube vinyl community member, which I can't recall now. It looked interesting. He described it. I listened to it. It's just amazing. By the way, sorry, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, if you have a streaming service like Tidal, I know this is on Tidal because I have Tidal. I don't know what the other streaming services are. Spotify, maybe. This Troika album is on there. Please listen to this. If you like this messed up psych with a Ukrainian and Russian influence, that's on streaming services. Listen to it, please. It's damn sweet. This is readily available on most streaming services anyways. If you want to sample it before you buy it, it's just an amazing album. Sir Lord Baltimore was my final Calgary Record Store find. Record Fair find, sorry. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up now before my memory on my phone quits on me. And I want to say thank you to everyone who stopped by and saw me. My wife was thoroughly amused that people came up to me and said, "I know you from YouTube." And it's really embarrassing. Flattering. But she laughs her ass off when that happens. She thinks it's hilarious. So I'd be remiss also if I didn't thank my wife for the back-to-back record fairs that she worked my tables for me. I hate selling my vinyl, as I said before. She worked my tables. I did incredibly well. I'm going to have a great trip in Europe shopping for vinyl and seeing Depeche Mode, seeing my daughter. And yeah, part 2 to this video is coming up later this week with all my thrift store and new arrivals. Thank you, said Liam Dyer, Vinyl in the Van, James Val, Dylan Harrison, everyone who came up to me and said you recognize my ugly mug from YouTube. It's really cool. Anyways, I'm going to end it here. That's all I have to say. For once, I'm out of words. Thank you everyone for watching my videos. I appreciate it. Please subscribe. Take care, everyone.